Hey, Raj, thanks for joining me at Brand Innovators Beach at Cannes 2025. How are you enjoying the week so far?
It's day one, but amazing.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
hot here this week.
It's warm. It's very, very
It's very
warm.
warm.
Yes.
And you are the SVP and CMO of Stellantis North America. So thanks for joining me. And this week at Cannes, it's all about creativity and creativity with purpose. So what's inspiring you this year in regards to creativity, and how does it connect with what you're doing with Stellantis and in brand?
Yeah, it's a great question. As I think about, so I think in drumbeats, meaning there's points in time, but how do you continue the conversation? So many of us were just at upfronts. And now extending the conversation at Cannes allow us to go deeper with not only different partners, but also explore, more. So when I think of Cannes, like the biggest companies, the smallest companies, the biggest creative agencies, the smallest, the media companies, big and small, we're all in one place.
Yes.
And I describe it as a priceless experience because this is where the relationships are established. This is where many ideas come to fruition, but it also helps with the drumbeat that's necessary for us to not only stay connected, but also do more together in the marketplace. And so I see it as a complete win. While tiring with the schedules, it's definitely an incredible experience to be here.
Amazing, amazing. And you have a diverse brand portfolio. So how do you personalize storytelling across all of those audiences? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so when I think of, all of our brands, each brand, and just to level set, we have Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat in North America.
Mm-hmm.
Every brand has their own DNA.
Yeah.
And the most impactful things that we can do as marketers is to hold true to the brand DNA. While we have a content team that delivers the creative and, they do the briefing, from my perspective, making sure that we have the right message at the right time, while also leveraging media to help be a performance driver and really support what's necessary for us. So from my perspective, the art and science go hand in hand. And it's very important for us to make sure that we understand who we are, we stay true to that, while also establishing who our target customer is, who are we speaking to, and what things are important for them to know so that they choose us. We want them to choose us and for us not to push ourselves on them.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, there were certain cars that I just loved because they made me feel cool.
Yeah.
And so I want people to go after our brands because it makes them feel a special way.
Yes, that feeling that you
that
get.
feeling
Yes,
that they
true
have.
connection.
There's a true connection to the brand.
Yes.
And so for me, that's more important than anything else, I would say.
And because of fragmentation across media, that's hard to do. A lot of people say right place, right moment, right time, right?
Yeah.
We've been marketers a long time. We've heard that a long time. So how are you thinking about data and AI in 2025 to help you do that more efficiently and effectively with your team?
Yeah, so AI is interesting because it's probably one of the fastest moving portions of technology that is really available to us today.
Yes.
And the good thing is that, yes, it does help you with efficiency. It does help you with getting performance drivers. It does help with predictive modeling. It does help with getting creative or different options back faster. But AI is only as good as the input. And so that's
Yes.
the thing that I really want to emphasize as a marketer is just making sure that I don't put junk in and I get junk out. Is how do we do it in such a way that is we spend the time with intention, making sure that we understand the key drivers for our business, Stellantis specific, not just everyone's business. But then from a competitive and insight standpoint, what are the things that we're bringing in that are really important to our business? And then how am I testing and how am I taking those insights to really help deliver upon what's important for our business? AI is also interesting because it allows for more one-to-one consumer engagement and interaction. And if done well, it's a treat. But if it's not done well, it can be disastrous. And so from my vantage point, I'm always trying to make sure I understand what my output is and ensure that the inputs match what it is that I'm looking to get on the flip side.
And you've led a lot of meaningful work in multicultural marketing as well. So how does that look with AI and data? Like, how do you think about that in driving more of that personalized messaging to those audiences?
So I think, and for us, we use growth audiences. So
Okay.
for growing sales and share. So for us, it's African American, Hispanic, women, as we look at Asian markets, I think there's a lot there. One thing that I'm very clear on is AI is not there to replace humanity. And so being very respectful of that.
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yes.
Like, you have to do that. But there's other opportunities where you can leverage AI to use different demographic and regional, nuances in creative. Or
Yes.
from a media standpoint, how do we leverage in language, or how do we go deeper, faster, with certain media channels that we have.
Mhm.
So I think there's an appropriate place for it. But also just making sure that we truly understand who our consumer is, and we leverage our partners most accurately, and not use AI to take over things that we have subject matter expertise for.
Mhm.
And so what's the balance? What's the sweet spot? And this isn't a multicultural example, but we've used AI for voiceover
Mhm.
in scenarios where our voiceover talent was injured in an accident. This is for one of our Jeep campaigns.
Okay.
And it's a recognizable voice. And we wanted to continue with this particular individual. So we worked with his agent, and we were able to leverage AI to shoot this new commercial using his voice. And
Oh, wow.
we, with agreement with SAG and all of that, it wasn't to replace him. This was an opportunity for us to use it in a very humane way and respectful way.
Mhm.
We're saying, like, you as a person are still important,
Yes.
but we want to leverage your likeness. And we've done a couple examples of that where, when done and done well and
Yes.
with respect, I think it's something that can totally be leveraged. So that's always my balance of, when do you use it, what is the right time, and how do you leverage it to push yourself further.
Mhm. That's amazing. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, Cannes this week is all about celebrating you, the CMOs and the brands, and all the amazing work. But there's also the relationships that go beyond Cannes, back in the C-suite with the CFO. There's been some conversations this morning on some of the panels around those relationships and how they're so important. So how do you navigate that with everything, touching upon just some of the things that we touched upon today and the challenges you have being the CMO, with your relationships with the CEO, the CFO, to really validate the efficacies of marketing and drive to the outcomes that the businesses need? How do you think about that as CMO?
Yeah, with clear and pure intention. I think, so marketing is one of those spaces where everyone's an expert, right? Because
Yes.
you can make a comment on creative, you can make a comment on media plans or partnerships, but when you get into the performance and the business drivers, that's where things take a shift.
It's true.
And so what I've done, and I've only been at Stellantis a year, I've intentionally spent time with our comptroller, our CFO, on educating on the background as to why. So I recently did like a MMM overview, with basically saying, like, here's how the modeling works. Here's how upfront works. Here's the things that we're planning for and why it's important to our business.
Mhm.
Here's how we use it for effectiveness, but also efficiency. And here's why we want to make certain commitments at certain times. But then also, here's why we need to maintain consistency. So when there's budget tasks or things that are coming, down the chute, you don't look at media first because it's the largest bucket many times.
Mhm.
And they see that as the opportunity. But many times it's the most detrimental from a, like, just quick turn.
Yes.
Like, you turn things off. Customers don't know who you are. They're not thinking about searching you. There's no content available. So really helping to emphasize and show the relativity of the marketing budget, the media plan, the performance, and how it helps deliver upon our sales and share goals. But then also giving an understanding of the role that media and marketing play, amongst other factors that really help support an entire ecosystem. And so I think that's what those conversations have been helpful, and they're actually still ongoing, because now there's a conversation around, okay, well, wait a minute, before we cut, let's have a conversation with Raj on, what does this do to my demand? Or what does this do to my performance? And what are the impact or outcomes of making these particular decisions, which is a shift, right? Because
I was just going to say that that's amazing that now that's part of the conversation and the
Yeah.
process as opposed to the mandate. So well done.
Actually, I have a conversation this afternoon around H2 moving forward, and okay, here's our plan and our strategy moving forward. So yeah, I think spending the time on that education and doing it with respect and in partnership,
Of course,
is
yes.
definitely something that
Every CMO should do,
Yeah.
but not everyone does. So well done. And thank you for joining me here at
Yeah.
Brand Innovators Beach. I hope you have a great week at Cannes.
Thank you as well, and thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.